So, next up, eating crow with your team. Don't eat all the crow by yourself. How to walk back without losing authority.
We've talked about this because we just talked about two different instances that we just called it out with the team and continued to move forward. And in a meeting situation or a presentation, if you do not address it right then, it could hinder the rest of the meeting, the rest of the agenda, and you can use it as a team experience. So with your team, you're going, hey, we messed up on this. I was the leader of it. You guys followed suit. Thank you for following suit. There's a piece here, and this isn't even in the notes, but I think is very important. Your team, and it's not our entire team, it's not the 250 plus employees, but your leadership team, they better feel comfortable that they can call you out in a respectful way when something's wrong.
Yeah.
If you're around a bunch of yes people, you have the wrong people. You haven't given them the authority to say, "Hey, Matt, let's re-go over that. I think we're missing something there." Or let's double check those numbers.
Yeah, and I think one of the most important keys of what you just said is giving them the authority.
Mhm.
But listen, it's in how to properly call you out. Because the last thing you want to do is a BS flag to slap you in the side of the face
Mhm.
that makes you build hostility against, like, what the heck, man? I know I was wrong, but you didn't have to
Yeah,
kick me in the teeth and MF me over here,
that's
right?
right.
Like, hey, I hope I don't do that to you.
That's right.
So and I think that's a way of when you mess up, like let's say in one of our doc meetings, we're going over our daily performance with our managers, and that's a pretty vulnerable, everyone leave their stuff outside.
That's right.
We're gonna go over what's going on, what's the hurdles, where was the wins, what's the losses, and how do we adjust for today's business.
Mhm.
And in that, if I mess up reading something or if a report came over wrong or whatever it is, we're going to dissect it
Mhm.
at a good level to realize that. And then hopefully everyone has the ability and understanding to call each other out to say, what's really going on here? What is this? And then you get to, when you mess up, you teach them, all right, here's what happened. Here's what we're going to do moving forward. And here's how we're going to double check. You check me on my numbers. I'm going to check you on your numbers. And then that teaches them how to then mess up properly with their team.
Sure. Absolutely. There's been times, especially on our Monday reports, anything that we manually enter in, we might compile 10 different reports into one,
Yeah.
dashboard that we go over. And we talk about what we're speaking about today, but saying it and doing it's two different things.
Yeah.
Like they have to feel like their job's not at jeopardy. They have to feel like that the spotlight's not on them now. I'll get into a section and I'll get all the way done and go, well, shoot, that was wrong right up there. And then I'll simply say to everybody, hey guys, you got to tell me when I'm in the middle of this,
Yeah.
like, hey, I think there might be an error.
Because you're confident in the numbers because there's going to be 400 numbers
Sure,
in this report
sure.
going through it. But sitting back, not presenting it, your mind's going a little bit slower.
Absolutely.
And it's like, hey, real quick, I think those trade numbers are off. Because then that's going to move all the metrics
All of it.
past it.
And there's been times where we've been wrong on a report in a meeting, and you've been right there, and I've asked you, I'm like, hey, plug that in there and then throw it on the
Give
screen
me a new number or something.
and then adjust it. Because what's more important to us, and I'll say to me as standing up there, is not the report. It's that the credibility of the report, so then our leaders will use it to go make a difference in their department.
Yeah.
So if there's an error and somebody's not willing to go, hey, Matt, I think something's wrong right there on the amount of pencils or the amount of trade appraisals, they'll say then the whole report's wrong and they'll miss the opportunity of growing their department.
Yeah.
So we talk about that. Hey, just tell me, hey, I think our amount of deals submitted over is wrong. Let's adjust that and see what it does.
And in that, there's a very, very, very proper way that you say, I was wrong. And sometimes it just starts with, I was wrong. But what you often see is the cowardly ways that they take the crow and they say, there's a crow. I don't know how it got in here. I didn't put it in here. I'm not in charge of keeping the crows in or out of here. Right. So that's what often see leaders do, and then that builds a wall, and then people are focusing on the crow in the room instead of what you're trying to focus on. And so the proper way is saying, "Hey, I'm wrong. My bad. I messed up," and not saying the computer did it wrong or the reports that came to me that were wrong, or I know I'm your leader, but this has nothing to do with me. This most likely is you, which generally it is someone else's, right? I mean, it happens. Like someone typed Peyton
Yeah,
instead of Parker,
that's right.
right? In mine, it was all on me, right? But that was my bad for not going around and say, "Hey, tell me how to properly say each one of these names." That's my fault, right? I should have looked all those things, but most people will not do that.
The key, I'll tell you a trigger here, is if you start with I, you're more than likely headed down the right path.
Mm-hmm.
If you start with this, you're headed down the wrong path.
Okay.
If you say this report's wrong,
Yep.
this play's wrong, that was wrong, because you're getting ready to blame it on something else. If you take ownership, and we got younger kids, so we're constantly trying to teach them. And as soon as one of my kids talks about an issue and the word but comes out, I'm like, stop. There's no but. Either we were in the wrong, we didn't do it right, or we weren't. There's no but. There's no, you can't say anybody else's name. You, and they'll repeat this to you. And they say they're tired of me saying this. You can control who? And they'll be like, me. You can control you. That's it. All right. I don't want buts. I don't want excuses. I don't want anything else. It will get you nowhere in life.
Like, hopefully, I know it will resonate because I know that we learned so much from dad of, being a good leader and helping us to be so slow to anger and think through things and all that. So I know it'll resonate. It doesn't seem like it is right now, but we're finishing up baseball. We finished up baseball this week with all three of my boys. The other ones in basketball as well. And they're winning some games and losing a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're constantly going through, because this society is all about passing the blame. And so it's the refs, it's the other kids, it's the parents, it's the game changer, and so yeah, it's just like, hey, we get in the car, it's like, hey, you played great. Appreciate you giving all the effort that you could. Appreciate your sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
And, just trying to give positivity of the good things, like the wins when you lose. And so we're constantly working on, we're not blaming anything on the refs because they didn't score or not score any points.
That's right.
Or the umpires that for the calls that they did, or the strike zone. I mean, let's be honest, like they're little league umpires. Not that they're not great, right?
Correct.
Like, but I mean, it's sit
They get paid $25.
well, I watched one get whacked in the face the day of the ball, and we were there. This is gonna blow your mind. We were there till 11:45 Monday night, and I was like, I don't care what you call it, just call it over, right?
Golf game.
We won, which was great, but I was like, I was supposed to be in bed 2.5 hours ago.
This is gonna wreck me tomorrow.
Oh my gosh! And so, but of just learning that, and that's so important. So if I can instill that in my kids and in my family,
Mm-hmm.
their world will be just completely different because of their mindset.
I was talking to somebody else about this the other day. We were just walking around and we were talking about, they have young kids too. And I said, it is so clear to me that if you'll do just a few basics and you'll instill these into your kids, I don't care what GPA they get. I don't care what degree they get. I don't care how smart or not smart they are. But if they can just do these few things, how they will beat everybody else in life.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of those is exactly what you talked about, is not blaming others. 2 is being respectful, learn how to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And I'm on a whole nother kick here. And 3, something as simple as opening the doors for people.
Mm-hmm. Just good manners.
And then making it through the highs and lows.
Yeah.
That we live in a society where if it's not going your way, give up and jump ship.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that in college sports right now with NIL quite a bit. And what I'm worried about on these young individuals is when they get out in the workforce and everything's not going their way one day, or they get a boss that doesn't lead exactly like they want, or this or that they're not going to be able to bridge the gap.
Right.
You just got to stay consistent, and you got to be able to weather the storm. I don't mean a storm for your entire life, but we have good days and we have bad days.
Yes.
And it's just, it's so important. And eating crow goes right along in this.
I love that. I saw a thing the other day and it said, hey, you know who'll make it through a recession or a really tough time? It said car dealers and cockroaches. And I love that we were one of the two, right? It's just one, I was like, I don't know. They always find a way, right? They're not going to blame on anything else. So,
Because you're just resilient and like at the end of the day, we control what we can control. And that's where 100% of our energy goes.
mm-hmm.
We get people asking us about the business all the time. Hey, what do you think about the tariffs overseas? And what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's going on, but I can't tell you the details. Why? Because it's going to happen either way. I can't control that. Now, if my profession was negotiating tariffs, then I would know all of it, but it's not.
Well, I'll tell you, for example, so I don't know why in their timing, but that's on them. That's their decision, but we take responsibility. Ford decided to delete the Escape and the Edge. They're no more, right? The Edge sunsetted first and then the Escape, leaving them in a time where things are more expensive, where fuel prices are more expensive, and people are trying to be mindful of, if they are going to buy a car, of cost of a car, like our Compass for 26 grand. And so what we've done is just pivoted very heavily into a used car market where we can say, hey, small or mid-sized market SUVs are super popular right now, and we need to be at this price point. Our cost of goods need to be sub $30,000.
Yes.
And we're going to get the least expensive or the best option thing from the manufacturer that we can, but we're not going to continue to send letters to Detroit to say, bring the Focus back, bring the Fusion back, bring the Taurus back, bring the Escape back, because we can't control that. But what we can say is, hey, we have a Lewis guarantee vehicle that gets up to a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty on this pre-owned vehicle, and it's only $23,500.
I think that's such a great point because both of our new manufacturers, they don't offer any car. But there's customers out there that need that price.
Still want a car.
So what can we control? We're buying low mileage pre-owned Malibus, Hyundais, Kias, and then we go, okay, that we can control.
Yeah.
And some other people say, yeah, but you don't get the full warranty on it. We can control that. We went to our warranty company, designed, we get a 5-year 60, built it, put it on the vehicle at no additional charge and said, here you go.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that, we talked about a little bit last podcast, but people might say, well, you got your own warranty company? Well, that must be nice. It's like, it is really nice. It is really nice because we do so much business with them because of the amount of vehicles that we sell that we can pretty much create any style warranty to fill that void. That's the nice part about it is then it is good for the consumer. Then it's like, why buy with Lewis? Because I can buy a vehicle that is out of warranty.
Yes.
And then I get a warranty with Lewis. So that is the nice part about that is that we can design whatever. So instead of saying they don't make this is out of warranty, why won't you send me more? We say opportunity is, we'll go get more, we'll design this, and here's what it is.
And that is the nice part of it, is going, let's just do it better than everybody else.
Right.
We've got our own tool here. Let's figure out the pain points. And one of the early on pain points that we saw is most powertrain warranties, they weren't covering seals and gaskets. We went to the insurance underwriters. It took some time. It wasn't a flip of a switch. And we said, you make sure every one of our powertrains covers the fluids, covers the seals, covers the gaskets, just like a customer would expect.
Yeah, on a brand new car.
Or on a used car.
Yep.
Or on a used car.
Yeah. We would cover like a new car.
Just like a new car.
Yep.
So that is the nice part of it.
Yeah.
And they probably got flipped on their head because they're probably thinking, well, it must be nice to make the money on that. And you're like, no. And
yeah, I wish I could tell you that it was all that gravy.
But what really must be nice is that we can actually fill a void in the marketplace and give our customer a better product.
That's the main idea there. So,
all right, let's go quiz of the week right here. I hadn't had time to delete this, so don't look at it.
Yeah.
In 2014, what major automaker had to eat crow? Oh, I love this. By recalling 30 plus million vehicles in a single year for a defective ignition switch.
Well, 2014, if it wasn't recently, I would have said Ford. Right? But
they have a lot of
what's their options?
Honda,
Okay.
General Motors, Toyota, or Ford?
I'm gonna throw out Honda and Toyota because They're very simple and basic in how they build their cars
Yes.
to alleviate those issues. So that leaves us Ford or General Motors. Seeing as we've set the records for most recalls here lately, but they weren't this many, I'm going to say it's General Motors.
And you're correct. It is General Motors. You know, a lot of times General Motors or Ford or CDJR, they will get the most recalls in a year. And I'm going to cover this subject real quick before we go on. And you're like, well, why doesn't Toyota or Honda? Well, when you look at Toyota and Honda's models, they build great cars. I think everybody out there honestly builds a great car
Oh, they keep getting better.
because the competitive landscape, whether you buy a Kia or a Subaru or a Ford or a Jeep or a Honda, they all build great cars. So why does General Motors and Ford and Jeep, why do they have the majority of the recalls? Well, here's why. They come out with new technology and new features faster that have never been to the market before all the others.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that. If you think Honda or Toyota, they're known for reliability and they're known for just being the trusty. Here's what it is. Here's what you get. It's not heavily recalled. It's going to last forever.
Yep.
So then they have a natural draw of a customer wanting to buy it because of that.
Yes.
The domestic manufacturers you're talking about have a draw for having a good product, but they've been known for some recalls. So they say, hey, we need to continue to bring the new latest and greatest
Yes.
phone, the new latest and greatest technology, the new powertrain. And because they're so competitive, the truck market says I can tow this, and the other manufacturer says I can tow that.
Yeah.
They said I got this much horsepower. They said I can go a little bit more. So they are quicker. And what does that mean?
So then that means they're in uncharted territories and they have to recall stuff because they hadn't been able to do all the R&D. You take a Honda or a Toyota and they don't have the features that you'll find in a Jeep or in a Ford or a GM. They still have 6-inch screens.
Yeah.
We got 23-inch screens. They didn't have wireless CarPlay until this past year.
Yep.
We've had it for 6 years.
Yeah.
Now, they still don't have any self-driving.
Correct.
In fact,
They don't have hardly any electric vehicles.
Honda had 0.
Yeah.
You know, they had some hybrids.
So
In fact, Toyota teamed up with Ford way back in the day to even share technology for the hybrid.
Yeah.
So I think you're just talking about two different things there. It's like saying the iPhone 10 has all the bugs worked out.
Yeah.
It just won't do what an iPhone 17 will do.
Correct.
You can't go record a movie on an iPhone 10 like you can a 17.
No.
But you've got to deal with some of the beta testing and software updates happening every night or glitches happening if you want to pave the road for something new.
Yeah. So they had to eat crow with 30 plus million vehicles for a faulty ignition switch. They did, whether they wanted to or not, they did kind of a little bit because they held them to it.
Well, and we'll move on. One last thing to you, though. Recalls are a good thing, consumer.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's getting fixed.
Yep.
The worst thing that could happen is a known issue that's not recalled.
Yeah.
And legislation changed a few years back, reducing the amount of occurrences before recall had to be issued. That's a good thing for the customer that there's a recall out there because that means that they're addressing an issue faster.
Yep. That is a
That's all I'm
good
going to say about that.